Yeah, I'm here. AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit in Grande. Go down and check out their Traxxas RC car selection. They got everything you could imagine for racing remote control cars. It's a crazy selection. Traxxas makes the top of the line RC cars in the country. 411 Fir Street in Grande. Hobby Habit, just for the fun of it. Down here at Pioneer Park, it is absolutely gorgeous. The District 3 All-Star Tournament started officially Sunday night, and with one game, and then yesterday they had a full slate of games. We're moving into day two. It's been just a lot of fun. I'm down here taking pictures, doing some volunteering, and just being around sports. That's kind of what I do. I don't even know what his title is. I know he's on the board, maybe vice president. I don't know. He can tell us here in a second. Shane Frederick from the Little League board is going to join me right now, and we're going to talk a little bit about this tournament. There he is.
All right.
Shane, how are you?
Good, real good.
What's new? What is your title, anyways?
Basically the player agent for the Grande Little League board, and kind of one of the tournament directors down here for the week.
Yeah. So what's going on? Tell us about what
currently we got 5 games going on 5 different fields. Tomorrow we'll have 6 going at once. So yeah, it's all the way from 8, 9, and 10-year-olds all the way up to 13 and 14-year-olds currently.
So boys and girls, softball, baseball, and if you win this tournament, what does that mean? What happens next?
If you win, you advance to the state tournament, and the state tournaments are all over the state. Each division goes to a certain site, so which is kind of why we want to put on a good tournament, because you can get rewarded for a state tournament if they feel that you did a great job at the district tournament. So that's always our goal when we host one of these.
Oh, you can, even if you don't. Oh, so you host this, you put on a good show, and you have a chance at hosting the state.
Yes, yep. They keep it in mind, put you on a list. They think, hey, the Grande was a massive, good tournament. So they'll,
Why would you want to host the state tournament as a Little League?
Just to, for the glory of those kids, to see that they're moving on to the regional level to represent the state of Oregon, not just their city. So you get to see that, witness it yourself. So it's kind of a cool little event. We did that in 2016 when our La Grande boys won the state tournament here in La Grande and got to move on to San Bernardino. And I think that's the goal for all these kids, is that find a way to get to that San Bernardino level and see what will happen.
Well, and hosting a state tournament raises quite a bit of money for your Little League, right?
Yep. You get not teams just from Eastern Oregon, then you get to expand throughout Oregon, and you get teams from Klamath Falls that all over Portland area, Bend, they all come here. It's the best of the best at that level for
the best in the whole state.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what goes into putting on a tournament like this.
It starts months in advance. It's we've got many volunteers that have to do certain things, and it's rewarding at the end, but it's a headache along the way. But it's just to get out here and see all the kids, and it's that's what it's all about, just to see the smiles on their faces.
Yeah,
that's
sure. So it's all volunteer.
It's all 100%. Volunteer. Even the umpires, the field crews, everybody. There's no pay for anybody. That's what's Little League is. Basically free.
Yeah, well,
free labor.
Well, but then when you get everything donated and it's all volunteer based, any income that's generated goes right back to the kids in Little League.
Yep, right back to the program. And like the Optimus clubs here, a lot of their money they support the youth and give scholarships.
$24,000 last year to be exact.
Yeah.
Optimus.
That's crazy.
In Union County.
Yep.
What about volunteers or sponsor-wise? Is there anybody that sticks out, somebody you want to give some props to, or a list of people?
I don't think I would single anybody out, because I'd be afraid I would forget somebody.
Yeah.
There's so many sponsors that help us out with this, whether it's, just a parent alone or a business that, without them, it makes it very difficult. But with them, it sure makes it easy.
Let's talk about that parent relationship a little bit real fast. One of the things I always talk about on my sports shows, especially, I cover La Grande High School really close. And I always talk about the parents having to be bought in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because that's what develops a state championship team down the road. And what's your thoughts about that?
Well, when it comes to for those kids trying out for All-Stars, when they're selected, as an all-star, I think the parent is selected as an all-star because they're doing just as much as the kid, if not more, whether it's laundry or getting them to and from practice, to the games, traveling, whatever it is. So I look at it as the parent's the all-star just as much as the kid.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, it takes the whole village
Yeah.
to get a kid into that position.
Yep.
How many years you been doing this?
Well, I started coaching youth baseball in '95. So
So right after you graduated high
basically
school,
after,
almost,
yeah,
a couple of years.
yeah. So I've been around, and I love to see the kids develop from a small age all the way up into high school, if not
College.
moving on.
Yeah, you got a kid
Yep.
in college.
Got
One
a
more
kid.
year left.
Got a kid at the Mounties. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. Just to, like I say, to watch those kids grow up, and man, it's just fascinating.
So let's end it with this. At the end, you guys get together and do a post-tournament, like meeting.
Yep.
What do you want to hear in that meeting? What do you want? What do you want this to be?
Well, you always want to hear everything positive, but I want to hear the negative too to see what we can do better for the years. And you only get a hostess about every 7 to 10 years,
Right.
because it goes to all these other Eastern Oregon towns, and if they want it, they'll take it. If not, it moves on to the next one. But from a positive thing, I just to know that every kid out here had the time of his life, because these are the games. I remember the games when I was 11 and 12 where I played, and I want those kids to remember that too, and just say, man, 2025, that was so much fun in the Grand, and hopefully that's the goal out of all this.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, I appreciate it, Shane.
Hey, Kyle.
You have a good
Yep.
day today. Don't
Awesome.
work too hard.
I won't.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so that was Shane Frederick. He's on the Little League board here in LeGrand, and he, like you said, he's been volunteering for 30 years with youth sports. That's a career. You know what I mean? It's super cool. Man, I've known Shane since we were about 14 years old. I played baseball with him, and he's just a good asset to this community. That's the AM Sports Report, brought to you by Hobby Habit in LeGrand, just for the fun of it.
Hey, Kyle. So, real quick, go back to the two-shot Benny. So, how much longer does this go on? Tell us about the rest of the.
This goes on all the way through the weekend, so
Okay.
it'll go all the way through Sunday. This coming up Sunday.
Okay.
It started on Sunday and goes through Sunday.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot of games, a lot of teams. There's a lot of people. This place is it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and this place is already packed. I mean,
Yeah.
there's, like you said, there's 5 games going on at 8 a.m. And if you're going to come down here, you might have to park a little ways away, but it's well worth it. They got, I don't know all the places. I know that there's like a shaved ice place out there. I know Jimmy B's is here. I know Optimus has got they have double concessions going. They have one out by Doug Trice Memorial, their mobile unit, and then they have their normal snack bar going on in here. And then they also have a whole bunch of gear too. They out in the pavilion, they have a lady out there selling all the shirts and hats and everything you can imagine. And all that money just cycles back into Little League here in LeGrand. And the umpires, they had a little bit of a controversy yesterday. There was a kid that went over pitch count, and they've handled everything with grace and dignity. And it could have been a situation where a lot of people were really upset. And I feel like the umpires did a really good job. They ended up pausing the game, bringing the kids off the field, calling the head umpire, and then they end up making a couple phone calls to the district office and then the regional office, and they end up making a decision, and they just reverted back to where the kid had hit the pitch count limit, and then suspended the coach because that's in the rule book, and the outcome ended up being about similar to what it would have been if the kid wouldn't have went over the pitch count. And I think most of the parents were pretty happy with it. So they did a great job with that.
cool. All righty. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, man. Thanks for doing this. We're gonna.
Yeah,
do,
it's been a great. It's already so nice out here. Really, it really is.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, and we're gonna. Now that we've figured out this technology, we're gonna be doing more of this remote stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's fun. Like, this is going to add a new dimension to the morning show.
Yeah.
be able to send one of us on a mission sometimes, whether it be maybe BC goes down to the coffee shop and has a coffee, or I'm at a game, or,
Yeah.
go on a walk downtown, carry this thing with. It's cool. We have it set up where it's just an iPad, like there's an iPad in front of me on a stand, and I have an earpiece in so I can hear Bennett, and this is how it is. I mean, I'm literally at a table. I got my camera and my tripod sitting right here, ready to go shoot some pictures. Once I'm done here, and it's just, yeah, this is technology's crazy how easy it's made it to do this, really.
Yeah. It absolutely is.